Meantime, former President Donald Trump is also on the road this week. Today, he's visiting Arlington National Cemetery to mark 3 years since the Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan before traveling to Detroit. On Thursday, he heads to the battleground states of Wisconsin and Michigan. CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi is following Donald Trump's movements for us and joins us now. So Trump posted, Olivia, on Truth Social, appearing to cast doubt on his upcoming debate with Vice President Kamala Harris, saying in part, quote, "Why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network?" What is the status of this debate? Flip over here. What's the status of this debate? Can you tell us?
Yeah, Anne-Marie, I mean, that's the question. Will they, won't they? Is this debate actually going to happen? There's been so many developments about this debate that they've been hard to follow. Given the fact that this was a debate that President Biden agreed to with Donald Trump, there's been a lot of questions about what has been agreed to by each camp. So you saw last night Trump posting that Truth Social saying stay tuned, kind of leaving the door open. And we learned this morning that there's a bit of a snafu on why they haven't fully agreed to the debate. And it's because we're learning that Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign has said they want to keep the mics hot the entire time. Now, this is really interesting because before it was former President Donald Trump that wanted to keep the mics hot during his debate in June with President Biden. Now that President Biden is not in the race anymore and it's Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign, they're arguing that the door is open and that they never agreed to have the mics cut throughout the debate. This morning, her campaign sending out a statement saying that Trump should stop hiding behind the mute button. Now, Jason Miller, who's with the Trump campaign, told Politico, who actually broke this story this morning, that they accepted the ABC debate under the exact same terms as the CNN debate. And they said that they are looking, Jason Miller, rather, said they are looking for a way to get out of any debate with Trump. So this is a lot of developments about this debate, whether or not it could happen, would happen. So we'll be following this closely to see, are they going to agree on whether or not the mics will be hot, what this debate could look like? There's a lot of developments we'll be following throughout today.
Yeah, I'm really curious because I think a lot of Americans are waiting to see that debate. Let's talk about what Trump's doing today. He's expected to head to Arlington National Cemetery. Why is he stopping there? What do we expect to hear from him?
Yeah, Mary, I mean, it's the third anniversary of the Abbey Gate bombing. That's the bombing that happened at Kabul airport during the evacuation of Afghanistan. Trump has been very close with the families of the 13 service members who passed away. He's there now. He'll be participating in a wreath-laying ceremony, and then he will also lay wreaths at the tombs of two of those service members, Staff Sergeant Darren Taylor Hoover and Sergeant Nicole Gee. Trump has been close with the families of these service members, throughout his campaign, meeting with them several times. And I've seen them actually at several rallies, and he talks to them quite often. So he'll be there today. And really part of that is to highlight from the Trump campaign about foreign policy. As we know, Trump's, during the final days of his administration, had agreed to the pullout of Afghanistan. That was seen through under President Biden's administration. And then we all know what happened, unfortunately, 3 years ago in August when those service members were killed. So Trump today, there in Arlington National Cemetery, honoring them.
All right, Olivia, thank you.